Hi there, and welcome back to the amazing collection unboxing. We are down to only 3 more boxes. Can you imagine? It's been almost 2 years now since we started this. So I have here box number 104 with the wonderfully titled box, Breyer Mixed. So let's see what we got in this box. First, we have a bunch of Breyer companion animals. We have the yellow Labrador. I think we have lots of Breyer companion animals. The Australian Shepherd, and it looks like a black lab. If I remember right, we've come across quite a few companion animals, but you really can't have enough, can you? I mean, they're adorable and they're small, so I know I have lots myself. Now I have more. Then we have a couple of Breyer buckets, because of course if you have Breyer horses, they need their grain and they need their water, so you gotta have buckets for them. Then we have, this is a packet of the Breyer Fest keychains. It is unopened, but for you, my loyal viewers, I will open it. Original price, $30. This is one of the earlier sets. We have the kind of opalescent warm blood, the silver rearing Arabian, the gold G2 quarter horse, and then the copper G2 saddlebred. These were super fun. I thought they were super cute, but they're not as popular as the early ones. I think they started making more like 500 or 750. So as the quantities went up, their popularity went down a little bit. Now these, I am not an expert on, and I'm not going to open them for you, so hopefully you can see in the package. These are Hartland Tiny Mite Drafters. There are 4 of them in these shrink wrappy things, and they are keychains. Now, towards the end of the Model Horse Collectors Jamboree, they did do Hartland Tiny Mite sets, but I recall them not being keychains, so I really don't know if the keychains were a part of the Model Horse Collectors Jamboree or if this was some other kind of a run. They are the original mold. If you don't know your Hartland molds, the Tiny Mites came in 2 different molds. One of them had ears forward, one of them had ears back. Oh, so this is the second mold. This is the ears back. The original older ones are the ears forward. They tended to break more often, so they retooled the mold and made them ears back. These are the ears back. So this is kind of an apricot dun. This is a very metallic, maybe a bay, maybe a smoke. I think it's a frosty bay. And then we have a palomino over here, and then a super dark dappled gray. He is really pretty. So these are probably Model Horse Collectors special runs, probably around the year 2000 to 2004, right towards the end. But I honestly couldn't tell you, so I'll have to look up and do some research on these. I'm not a Hartland expert. So then we have lots of buttons and some of the Breyer postcards for cigar and for the eventing. A Breyer sticker, a Peter Stone's pin, and then lots of Breyer pins. Breyer Fest guest for Leah's Fancy Chick, Northern Lights, Leah's Fancy Chick, Corky and Bimbo. We saw lots of Corky and Bimbo stuff. Strikeout. I love the pins. They're totally fun. So I just need to display them. I wanted to find like a white t-shirt and pin them all over the t-shirt so I could display them. Then, get organized, we have the Breyer teepee set. This set is one of those mixed blessings, like the stablemate barns that we saw a couple of boxes ago. These sets have a model in them. In this case, it only comes with the wolf, And then it has a bunch of other stuff. So it has the teepee and the doll and the bear skin and the fire. The horse does not come in this set. It's a little skinny for a Breyer horse. But you got to buy the whole set to get that one model. So like those stablemate stables where you want, as a model horse collector, if you're a stablemate collector, you want the stablemates, but then you got to buy this big set. Similar thing. So if you want this wolf, you have to buy the whole teepee set. And if I remember, it wasn't issued for very long. I don't think it was super popular, maybe a year or two at most, probably because it didn't come with a horse in it. So if you are an animal collector and want this wolf, you have to buy the whole set. And I think this set's fairly rare because it wasn't made for very long. Not a lot of people bought them. Like I said, there's no horse in it. But this is an unopened boxed set, so that's kind of fun. We'll see, maybe I'll take it out of the box someday. See if it'll stand there. So we have a bunch more of our companion animals. We have a border collie. We have a golden retriever. We have a corgi. Corgis are the cutest. And then we have the cat. And I don't remember if I said this, but I'm going to have to look up and see whether this cat mold was the one that they made for Grimalkin back with the Rich Rudish sham. We talked about that a couple weeks ago, so hopefully you've been keeping up with your videos. We talked about all this already, don't you remember? Then we have a bunch of boxed models. So this is the Breyer Classics Rodeo Series. This is the roping horse and calf. This guy's interesting. I actually don't have this mold in my collection. It's Wahoo King with the running calf. The Wahoo King is an interesting mold. I believe it is the only Breyer mold with that clear plastic pin to hold him in the upright position. You'll see it a lot in resins to give him stability so that they can, like a real horse, only have one or two hooves on the ground. I think this is the only Breyer model that does it, where the horse actually stands free, not on a base, but he has that clear plastic peg coming out of his front hoof so he can stand back on his 2 feet, anatomically correct, with the front 2 feet off the ground. So I think that's just one of those interesting little tidbits of information. So next time you're asked, this is the only model that does that. Of course, then I'll have to look it up and see if it's true or not. Then we have, this is Kiwi, the original stock horse stallion mold. This was a limited edition. Suppose I should look before I say things, eh? The Australian stock horse gift set, limited edition, 5,000 pieces. Am I good or what? I mean, really. So it's the stock horse stallion in a really nice apricot. And then he has an Australian tack set on. So it's got the knee rolls instead of a horn up front, and some other details for the Australian set. I thought it was super cute, but I'm not really into the tack, so I don't have one of these in my collection. But 5,000 was quite a few pieces. And the stock horse stallion isn't the most popular, so I don't think this guy sold out really well. But I thought it was a really clever, interesting new kind of marketing thing that they did. Then we have the original Breyer Zebra. I think this is considered classic scale, but I'm not 1,000,000% sure. So he was sculpted by Christina Lucas Francis, and he is a Damara zebra as opposed to the Greaves zebra. Each different individual species and subtype have different patterns of striping. So Breyer tried to do their best, but zebra stripes are pretty hard to do. So it's not totally accurate, but they did their best, like I said, to try and do a fairly accurate pattern of the Damara zebra. And I really like the back of this. It displays really nicely because it has the information on the type of zebra along the side of it, and then it has pictures of them where you can see it's the dark stripe and then it's the lighter brown. So they like have brown shadows behind their stripes, which makes them less visible to predators in the wild, which is why the zebras came up with their stripy pattern. So I really like this mold, and I would like to see them do more with it. I have one of the decorators, and I'd love to see them do more patterns. Then we have the spotted mule. This, I believe, was a regular run. He was sculpted originally as one of the Bonnie Shields Brown Sunshine stories. I'm not sure who sculpted him, but this is a really cool and attractive pattern. They haven't done a lot of different colors on the mule mold. So this is one of the more striking, the Appaloosa mule. And I think they did a really nice job with it, with the airbrushing underneath and then the splatters of the Appaloosa pattern. So he's super cute, but he was a regular run, not made for a long time. I think most of these are all from the early 2000s, but he's a good one. Then we have a bunch more paperwork. I know, we don't have enough, right? That's why the box was so heavy. This looks like it's mostly just about horses and one Peter Stone keychain. So back in the olden days, we got paper just about horses, and these were super awesome. They were put out, I think, 6 times a year, because this is labeled November, December. And this looks like several years worth of different just about horses. But I've talked about it before, a lot of information is in these that tends to disappear over time. There's stories about special models or how models came to be, or sculptors or painters. So I really like to keep the paper ephemera. I just need to organize it better, because there's information in these that you wouldn't find, that's just kind of disappeared from online. Really fun advertisements, like for the cowboy. Phantom, I really like this color on the racehorse. Scamper, horses in history. There was a whole series in here on vintage point, vintage horses. So I really miss having the print models. I'm old, what can I say? And I like these. So it looks like we've got several years worth of old Just About Horses magazines. That was a fun box. I had a lot to say that time. Only 2 more boxes left. So join me next time. It'll be another fun box, and see what we find then. Thank you.